Hi guys, and welcome to the sewing room. Today it's a little dim because I'm going to be using the Ditto to answer all of your questions about these super easy 15-minute smocked pants. The first question I got was, how much fabric do you need to buy? So I tried doing advanced math and calculations and then gave up and decided that we're just gonna roll with the hip measurement of fabric because we're gonna be cutting shorter than the hip measurement to get the crotch, but we're going to be stretching it. So that is my starting point. Question number 2, how to put in pockets. Pockets are a mystery to me. I tried to put them in the smocked waistband, and as I'm sure all of you are shouting at your computer right now, that's just going to make it so they stretch and pull open when you put the pants on. And yes, that is exactly what happened. So on this version, I'm going to be actually lowering the smocking a little bit higher up on the waist, and then we're going to be dropping the pocket down into the fabric. So let's go. I bought the end of the bolt just to experiment and play around with. Let's get started. All right guys, what I've done here is I've projected a Ditto pants pattern onto my smocked fabric. The Ditto pants pattern in question is the Avril, but honestly, it doesn't matter. You're just gonna pick something that's close to the size of the person you're making it for and throw it up there, because all we care about is this. This is the only part we care about. This is the front crotch line. And right here, this is the hip. So this is the fullest point of the hip as measured by the pattern. So earlier when I was doing these, I was putting the smocked fabric at or a little below this line, but I found that I don't like the fit and the lay on that, especially if we're gonna be adding pockets. So don't worry about all this. I'm actually gonna be folding it over and tacking it for a really cute waistband. Right now, all we need to worry about is this line right here. So for this piece, I also found it helps if you cut off about 1 inch, which is what I did here, so that you can stretch the fabric out and iron it so that it lays flatter while you're cutting. And that's it, guys. It's really that simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my experiment piece. I love the Ditto. It doesn't get in the way. I thought I would be going over the shadow all the time, but I don't. When I get to this corner, I'm just going to cut it because we're gonna tear all the way down. We want that nice wide pant leg. It doesn't have to be perfectly precise. All right, so I've sent the back to the Ditto projector. I cut again 1 inch here so that I could iron this out flat. You can see for every inch here, you get double the amount, which is perfect. That's what we want. And here's my crotch line. I told you on the other side that the notch was where the hip line was. I was mistaken. It's actually where the front and the back join together. This is where you lengthen or shorten it. This still folds over. If you are putting off this project because you're worried that you don't understand how I'm doing it exactly, don't be, because I'm making this project up. It's imprecise. They're very loose palazzo pants with a stretchy waistband. If you're a little off, it'll be fine. Just make them. I am just double checking here. My crotch on this side is about even with the crotch on this side. So again, I'm just close enough, right? Yay Ditto for making this easy. You could still do this with a pajama pants pattern. And also, thank you for Fiskars for having the best easy read, clear sewing tools. They make my life so much easier. You can see I'm not even cutting on the exact line, I'm just getting close. Although I will say having this part ironed helps considerably. And then once again, this is my pants line. I'm just gonna cut and tear. If at this point you do not label the front and the back of your pattern, you know which side is the back because it has a much deeper curve. And you can hear Caspian in the background. He has a lot to say about that. It's gonna grab and rip all the way down. That's the side now. Now, if you wanna make the simple version of these pants, just stop here. You're going to, you're gonna sew your back together, sew your front together, and then make the legs, which I'm gonna show you in the next step or so. But if you're making pockets, we're gonna have to go down and harvest some fabric from the other end. Luckily, this is a really tiny person, so I can harvest from the end and she can still have pants. If she can even fit into this. It's pretty small, but I'm just experimenting with this fabric. I'm just gonna steal from the bottom, like I've stolen from the top. I want it to be even so I don't have to even it up later, so I'm just gonna cut both layers even though I probably don't need to. It's gonna be my leftover pocket fabric. Back up to the top. Now here's the rub. There is no side seam on these pants by design because we are just doing the front crotch and the back crotch on the same piece of fabric, so there's not gonna be a side seam. So if you want pockets, you're gonna have to insert a little seam right here in the middle. I wouldn't even cut all the way down. I would just cut as deep as you want your pockets to be, past the smock lining. So we got 13 across. I'd like them to be a little bit more to the front, so let's just do it in the dead center, 6.5. Reminder, no idea if this is gonna work or not, but because there's no side seam, you're gonna have to cut into your fabric to make your pocket. And so I found the middle of my piece, measured down 1/2 inch, and then measured 5 inches to make my pocket. I did my 1/2 inch, 5 inches, thought about making a pocket, and then was like, nah, we're part of the girls' pocket liberation movement. So I went even bigger, could fit my whole hand, could fit my phone, and you can go as big and as crazy as you want. I do have this part that I'm gonna tack to the top of the waistband when it's finished so it doesn't go flopping around. But let's get cutting and sewing. All right, oh, okay. So now I'm just gonna serge around the edge, starting at my 5 inch mark. Here we go. Like I'm always catching threads. Okay, once you stock up on Skittles, you're going to put your fabric right side up, take your pockets, right sides together, and just put them in line. And I realized when I was drawing out my pocket that if you don't feel like drawing out your pockets, you can totally just, again, use your Ditto to project one for you, or if the pajama pants pattern that you're using has pockets, steal those. But I didn't think of that, so here I am with my strangely, oddly shaped homemade pockets. Okay, so we're gonna sew right down the line at the smallest seam that you think you can manage. So I'm gonna do just like a 1/4 inch seam. Everyone say hi to Vi. I know, I just said press your seams open, but actually we're gonna press your seam towards the back, towards the pocket in this case. And then look how nice that's gonna lay when we're finished. All right guys, we've got our pocket. It's right side up with our fabric. And now we're going to simply fold the other half up so that our pockets and our fabric are right sides together. Might take a little squooshing, but we're good at scooching. All right, there we go. Now, whoop, let me center that. Now we're gonna sew all the way down and around our pocket. All right guys, what we have here is the side of a dress, or pair of pants rather, and a serviceable pocket. Yay! So I do have a little bit of a mess right here just because of how I pivoted on my serger. Sergers are awesome, I use it most of the time, but every now and then you really just need a sewing machine. So I'm gonna turn right back out, and I'm actually gonna sew down and into this pocket. And then when I hit my pocket line, I'm just gonna sew down about 1/2 inch. That's what we measured in the beginning. And we're done. Let's take another look. It's a much cleaner pocket line. Much better. Last step, we're gonna take our pocket and we're gonna tack it to the front. How do we know which way the front is? It has a much deeper crotch line. So this is your back, this is your front, and we're just gonna go ahead and tack it just like this. Just a few stitches so it doesn't pull down when you have stuff in your pockets. We don't wanna make it completely tight because as you slip in and out of the pants, I don't want that pocket to rip. So I'm going to probably take it in a little bit. See how I'm stretching here? And the pocket is fine. So that's what we're looking for here. And I am going to just hand tack this corner in place. Experiment is success. I have a pair of smocked pants with a functional pocket, but waist not, want not. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this pair even though it's too tiny for anyone to wear. Shout out to you, Sara Beth. Hopefully they work. We're gonna achieve this. We're gonna put our right sides together again. We're gonna sew down the side in the crotch. And then on this side too, down the side and the crotch. And here we are. We've got our pants, they're serged, they're pressed. All we've got to do is lay them together. Our crotches are going to meet in the middle. So at the top, all the way down, the back is going to be longer than the front because the back is deeper. So we're just going to bring that up and then sew up one pant leg and down the other. There we are, teeny tiny smocked pants, ironed. They have legs. All we have to do now is fold this waistband over. And I really should have thought about this during the design phase. So either you can leave it like this, or I guess we can do a double fold up to avoid showing that inner seams. Either way, we're just going to do some quick tack embroidery. You can even do it in a cute embroidery gloss color so it looks like it's on purpose. We're not sewing the whole thing, we're just tacking it in a few places so that it doesn't want to flop up. Hey guys, it's me and Vi in the sewing room. I hope that I answered all your questions with this video about how to cut the crotch out. Make pants with pockets, make a skirt. I'm gonna make some harem pants in the next video with the elastic at the bottom. Thank you, Vivian Mary Williams, for the suggestion to put the elastic at the bottom of the pants. I'm gonna do that in the next video because I have a pair that somebody wants for the Renaissance Festival and I'm actually gonna dye them as well. Also wanted to thank Deborah Cicinero Ship, I'm guessing. I really took your comments to heart about clarifying how to do the crotch line, and I hope that this helps. If it didn't, you know, I've got one more shot. I'm gonna make those harem pants, so let me know what you're struggling with. A lot of people also asked how much fabric to buy when you're making this, and I decided on just take the hip measurement, whatever you are, the thickest part of your hip. That's how much you're going to need because we're gonna cut off a little bit more than that. And if you're like me and your waist is a much different ratio from your hips, you may have to taper that line in a little bit. Just make it with a straight line, try it on, and then if you need to just angle it in, you can do that. Oh yeah, and one more thank you, Retired Adventurers Crafts. I would appreciate all of the help available on pronouncing any kind of terms. I know that a lot of the time I've only read it and never heard it. So if you have tips, send them along. He, coo, him. Thank you so much. And Mer Portal, you are right. I'm always talking about my mom when I sew because she sat me down at a sewing machine, actually this sewing machine right here, when I was 5 years old. So every time I sew, I think of her. And we still sew together all the time, and it's one of my favorite parts of the hobby. Once again, recap, make shorts, make pockets. I'm going to make harem pants next time and show you how to dye your fabric with tea. I'm just so excited that you all checked in for this today. As always, let me know if you have more questions or if you have a request of something that you'd like to see on my channel. And show pictures. Show pictures of what you're making. Thank you so much, and get making. Thank you so much. What? Vi, you are not helping. Okay, you're kind of helping.